Good morning, digital people. I'm Stephen from TCC. I'm sat here talking to Melissa Griffiths, the Chair of Trustees for TCC. Good morning, Melissa. How are you?
Good morning, I'm fine. Good morning, everybody.
Nice. This is the start of our hopefully regular podcast series on audio and video at all good bookshops, or wherever you choose to consume it. So thank you for tuning in. Melissa, that's on a formal note. Can you tell us a bit about your background and career?
Sure. So I have lived in Wrexham since I was 7. So most of my schooling has been in Wrexham.
Okay.
I went to Yale College for my A-levels, and then I went to study law at the University College of Wales, Aberystwyth. So after that, I did a year in the College of Law in Chester, doing my Law Society finals, as they were called then. It's a different name now because it's so long ago. And then I was very lucky to be offered a job with Allington Hughes, now Allington Hughes Law, in Wrexham. And I've been so lucky to have spent all of my career there. So I've been there 33 years.
Right.
I qualified in 93 as a solicitor, and then I specialised in criminal law. When I was training, I wanted to be, or before my training, I wanted to be a family lawyer.
Right.
And then having spent some time in the family law department, I realised it wasn't for me.
Okay.
And I was very lucky to have participated in a couple of very interesting criminal trials as a trainee solicitor, which really whetted my appetite for criminal law. So I've specialised since about 2007 just in criminal law. So I represent clients at the police station, and if they're charged, in court, and I've done that for since 2007. Since 98 I've been part of the management team at Allington Hughes, so I was a partner, and then when the company incorporated in 2013 I became a director. So I've had hands-on experience with management for the last 25 years. In September last year I stepped down from the board, so I'm now just a lowly consultant solicitor. So I just do the day job now. Okay. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I love my job, love the team I work with, and I've been really, really lucky.
Don't suppose I can ask you about any juicy cases on this podcast?
Well, probably not. No, probably not. But no 2 days are the same. Yeah. It's such an interesting and exciting area of law. It's hard. And sometimes I have to deal with some very, very vulnerable people. Yeah. But with very, very few exceptions, there's always a backstory. Yeah. There's always a reason why they've perhaps found themselves in that difficult position. And it's just about establishing a rapport very quickly with a client, finding out what you can about their backstory, and doing the best for them.
Okay. So how did you leap from that work to becoming involved with TCC in the third sector?
Basically, I'd always known about TCC because my father, the Reverend Gerald Griffiths, was a priest at St Mark's in Kaya Park for 7 years, and was very involved with Kaya Park Partnership, and he's a signatory to the original Articles of Association of TCC.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, and my mum was involved as well. So I'd always known about TCC, but I'm a member of St Giles Church in Wrexham, and they're a member group of TCC.
Yeah.
And one of my fellow parishioners, Anne Owen, was very involved with TCC for a number of years. And just before, about 3 years ago, she asked for someone else to volunteer because she was stepping down. And given that my father and mother had been involved and I'd heard a lot about it, I said that I would volunteer.
Yeah.
So then I had a chat with Chris Potter, who was a former chair, and he asked me to consider becoming a trustee. And I thought, I can't be a trustee. I've not got the skill set to do that. And he assured me that he thought I did. And so I thought, because it was a cause that was so close to my parents' hearts, that I would dive in feet first and join the board. And I've not regretted it.
Oh, good. I was going to ask how you're finding it. So
it's a massive learning curve to start with. I found, because when you first come into meetings, you don't really understand what's going on, what the ethos is. But the staff and the managers are fantastic, every one of them. And they really care about TCC. And so they've been really helpful. My fellow trustees have been really helpful. And so then when a vacancy arose in about May of last year for chair, I thought I would throw my hat into the ring.
Nice. Thank you very much.
No problem.
What would you say, slightly related tack to that, what are your core values and beliefs that drive your work here?
My day job is all about the underdog.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
As I said, dealing, not all the time, but a lot of the time with people who've got into a very bad situation. They've perhaps had a difficult childhood, they've perhaps got addictions, they've fallen into poverty and homelessness. And so a lot of my job is establishing a rapport, trying to do the best for them in that position. And obviously they are very much the underdog because they've got the state prosecuting them, and sometimes it's difficult for them to find any sort of ally. And I find that aligns to TCC's work, because to me, TCC is all about the underdog. Yeah. It's about an individual or a member group with a particular community issue that has perhaps not had any success trying to resolve that issue by themselves. But then when they join TCC and they can avail themselves of all the experience and all the contacts that TCC as a charity and as individual staff members have, then that can just make the absolute world of difference. And so to me, that aligns very closely with my day job, because we're all about, I suppose, empowering the underdog.
Yeah. Okay. It's quite a difficult landscape for the third sector in general. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges the charity is facing?
From a trustee point of view, I think one of the biggest challenges is income stream, funding. Yeah. Obviously, we're in a cost of living crisis, and I think the call on specific funders is huge, and it requires an awful lot of skill and dedication by the staff team at TCC to apply for those grants and those sources of funds. So I think that's a huge challenge at the moment. We're so lucky that we have some excellent people at TCC who are very, very skilled in applying for funding. But I see that as the big problem, really, because there's so much call on those funds. And obviously TCC is not in any way government funded. Yeah. They rely on member dues and grants that they can apply for. So that, I think, is a massive challenge. Yeah, incredibly time consuming as well. Absolutely, absolutely. And to finish with, what advice would you give to someone looking to get involved in community organising or charity work? 2 words: do it. There we go. It's so rewarding. It's so uplifting when TCC have taken on an issue and run with it and have had a success. It's the best feeling in the world. So it doesn't take up a huge amount of time, but it's so fulfilling. So I would say do it. Yes. Thank you very much. You're welcome.